Alright, so we're pretty much done with the setup of the hard system itself. Now we have to do a little of the plumbing. This is the pump we're going to be working on, and this little thing here is the adapter. And this adapter is what adapts the top of the pump to that 1/2-inch irrigation line. And I imagine there's plenty of other ways to do this, so use your imagination. You only have to go from the pump. You only have to go from the pump, which is this 1/2-inch threaded fitting, and get water to the top of the tubing. So this is pretty straightforward. You could Teflon tape this so that it doesn't leak, but where it is and what it's doing, and it's got a flat spot down in the bottom of that, I don't think that's necessary. So we are going to thread this down in there nice and snug. Not going to get ridiculous, it is all plastic. Okay, that's nice and tight. So the hose I lay out and I zip tied it to my little bench here. It comes in a roll, so it wants to be in a roll. So as soon as we take this out, this has been out like this for a couple of days now, and the heat and the cold cycles in the greenhouse help it to straighten out. You can run a hairdryer on this while it's straightened, and it will help it not curl. So we're going to make this cut a little more square because it's kind of got hacked off there a little bit. And this fitting we push all the way down. We take our hose and we just stuff that hose on there as far as we can, and then that just clamps on there. That's it. So that is the plumbing on this end, and now I'll get the other end. This is just a plug. I put links to everything in the bottom. It's not high pressure, so just the pressure of that being in there should be enough. If it's not, I'll put a clamp around that and that'll be fine. So one more thing we need to do with that, and that involves the tool. This is the $5 tool, or at least it was when I bought it. And we need to put 3 holes in here. I want to leave about 1 inch between them. Okay, once you have the 3 holes in here, one of the things that this tip does, this little tool, is if you put that part little part in this tool, it gives you a little bit of leverage, because this does not go in necessarily easy. But it sure does go in easier if you have that tool. These I already have the hose on. Put that in there. And hook up that last hose. Alright, I'm going to turn the camera around and we are going to install this onto the system. Alright, so we have our pump, and this has an adjustment on the end. If you look close there, you're going to see that if I turn this, it kind of closes off the opening. We want it wide open. So got a little plus, turn it this way, wide open. And then we go ahead and take that, and I put it so that the pipe part is closest to all of these other pipe parts, and it goes right down into that 4-inch pipe that we drilled holes in earlier. And this is where the zip ties come in. I unfortunately do not have a zip tie that's long enough. I don't have a zip tie that's long enough, so I'm using 2. Put one into the next one, and put it right into the around, and it'll hold it together. There are other options. If I were able to go to the store, I would buy ones that are white, but not going to the store. So we're going to zip tie that all the way up the back, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we got our zip ties in. We're on the back side of the unit. That's where that 4-inch pipe is. The pump is down in there. Cord comes up. That is a pump that is intended to be underwater. Our zip ties in, and then the last step is all the way up here at the top, and that is to put those pipes, or the tubes that we just put on the last step. They fit into those 3 holes that we drilled earlier. So we're just gonna wiggle them in there, and sometimes they're a little tight, so that's it. So now we have a completed system. It looks just like its brother down there on the other end, but we're looking at the back of this system. So the next step is to wash everything. There's a whole bunch of PVC fragments and dirt and dust and what have you in there. We need to wash all of that out so that we don't get the pump clogged. I do not use a filter on my other one because I am pretty sure that I don't have anything in there. There's no dirt in that system at all. And once all the PVC stuff is out, it's good. Plenty clean. You can put a filter around it. I suggest a 5-gallon pail paint strainer, which we might do with this one, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to get the hose out and wash this thing down. Okay, this step is probably easier done with 2 people, but we're going to see how we do. So that center pipe needs to be pushed all the way back up against that 4-inch pipe, and then we're going to take rocks that we have already washed, and we are going to place them in the bottom. We're going to keep that center one where it belongs. Put rocks first in the front, and then we're going to put them down in the back. Be careful about dropping them too far. You kind of have to load it equally around, otherwise stuff is going to get shoved aside. That just did. Pull up a couple, put that back over where I want it, put a rock over on the other side. Okay, this doesn't all need to be like airtight in here. You want the larger rocks so that you have room in here for water between the rocks, because we're going to fill it with the nutrient solution. Don't put any rocks down where the pump is, because you're going to want access to that. We're going to fill it with big rocks on the bottom, and then we are going to go up in here with progressively smaller rocks, and the system should start to stand on its own. Alright, I'm going to leave that there for just a minute and go get some smaller rocks.
We made 7,000 subscribers! Woo! Thanks, T-Rex. Just a moment, but we need to interrupt your regularly scheduled program to let you know that we just hit 7,000 subscribers. Keep it up, YouTube!
Okay, this is going to be the final resting spot for that system we just filled with rocks. It needs to be level both ways, which means I need it level this way, which it's definitely not, and I need it level this way, which it way definitely is not. I am here on sand. This is not a hard floor, so I am just gonna clear out what I need to clear out to make this flat. And I'm just using a similar bucket. to help me get in the ballpark. And that's closer, and that's closer. Once we get this kind of dialed in, then we're going to bring the system we just built, and we are going to set that where we got this spot level. Let's go with that. I'm going to move the other system in place now. Okay, you can see I have the system just where I cleared out, and it wasn't until I set the system here that I realized there's a problem. Remember, we spent all that time getting these 8 inches apart, cutting these things exactly 4 inches, but this is 3.5 inches center to center. So this whole bucket that we just put here has to go that way 4.5 inches at least. So I'm gonna get after that. Fill it with fresh clean water. Those rocks are gonna still be dirty. We scrub brushed them so that they were okay. There was one problem with my first system in this Lowe's bucket on this side, and that was I drilled the holes too far down this side. It doesn't have much capacity. So this one we're going to come right up almost to the 5-gallon mark. It's not 5 gallons of fluid because of all the rocks in there. But now that it's on, now that it's full, we can plug it in. The type of pump we have in here shouldn't be damaged without having fluid, just because of the type of pump it is. However, pumps in general, you don't want to run without liquid, without them having liquid. That's part of what they use to cool themselves. So I'm going to get that plugged in, and we're going to see how this thing flows. And that right there is exactly what we're looking for. We want that to dribble down the front. This whole system we have leaning forwards just a little bit. You can see the water coming right down there, down the center of the pipe. It leans forward so that we have good contact between the roots and the water, which is not currently, but will be fertilizer water. Let's back out a little bit and we'll talk about the system as a whole. Okay, so there they are. I am going to plug those holes in this new system. I'm going to run it for a little bit, and then I'm going to take it back apart and rinse everything, put fresh clean water in it again, and add more rocks to the top. You can put a plant in those rocks at the bottom, but the rocks have to cover the water. If the water is exposed, it will grow algae, and that will affect how the system performs. That algae really it takes a lot of the nutrients, it steals the nutrients from the plants, and that's not what you want. I'm going to get up here in front of this and show you a couple of things. So as soon as you have it set up, you're going to notice that, oh, well, I didn't get the pipes quite straight. Because we didn't glue anything, which is great, because now I can take it all apart and I can clean it. I can, if it gets root bound or something, I can strip it all out. But you'll get kind of fussy with it. You can turn stuff a little bit. So long as you don't mess with it too much, it's going to be fine. If you notice the water's not running down the front, you can kind of flex it a little bit and it'll come forward. But this is the basic system complete. I'm going to go get some plugs for this so you can see how I plug those holes. Remember that hacksaw we talked about in the beginning? I'm going to put a link to another video. It's my Mason Jar Hydroponics. It's the FAQ, frequently asked questions on Mason Jar Hydroponics, and I go through how to use a pool noodle in hydroponics. It's right at the beginning of that video. I'll link it down below. So you need about 1 inch of small diameter pool noodle, not the big ones, the little ones. All of this is in that other video. You need to cut that off. I think it would actually be easier if you used a serrated bread knife, not a hacksaw. Just one more cut. So cut it off. Split it in two. Be careful. You want to hack your hand off. So now we have a pool noodle that has a little anyway. So fold in the middle, fold in one side, and then kind of form that around. So that will make a circle. And that circle we bring down here and we stuff in that. Okay? On the system over here on our other side, let me see if I can zoom into that. This plant up here on top, the little one, I transferred that into this system as a bare root plant just a couple days ago. I think it's been either 4 or 5 days now. So I took a bare root plant, and I did a video on that, by the way, how to do that. And I have a second one that I did the same thing. It was part of a mescaline mix that I did this with, and I have no idea what these plants actually are. These two, because it was part of a mix, not anything pure. Can I get that a little better? There we go. So this little guy over here, he seems to be doing pretty well. I transferred that as a bare root. I'm going to pull him out. The roots on this were not long enough when I put it in here. It didn't quite reach the water. They were down to about here. And now look at what we have. In just a few days, this fuzz up here is air roots. This tan thing is a strip of a cotton sock. Nothing dramatic, nothing expensive, but the growth. In just a few days. You can go back and watch that FAQ Mason Jar Hydroponics video, and you'll see this thing going in, and it looked nothing like that a few days ago. So I don't know what this is. If you do, please let me know. It was in a mix, kind of sort of thinking maybe arugula, but I'm also kind of sort of thinking maybe broccoli, but I got a broccoli in soil behind me, and I don't think that's accurate. So anyway, I don't know what it is, but that's what it looks like. That's how much roots it's grown. That's going to go right back here into this system. Make sure the roots get down in, and I'm going to stuff that back in. I have no supplemental light on that system. This system is in the background on that frequently asked questions video, so you can see how much growth I've gotten in just a few days. I used to use Miracle Grow, 1/4 tablespoon to the gallon. I have recently switched to Master Blend. Not universal across the board, but a lot of hydroponics people use it. It's water soluble. There's a link down in the description to get a little kit from Amazon. And that's exactly what I'm going to do in this one. I have lettuce plants already started in the house. I have some plants over here in my nursery. So that system, other than being flushed and cleaned out and more rocks added, that's done. So if you have any questions, please ask. A thumbs up down below, down there would be great. A subscribe, and a bell also right over there. That would be great. With that, y'all have a great day. May you be blessed. Stay safe. Stay healthy. T-Rex out.
Oh, before we go, we talked the other day while we were out in the greenhouse that we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. So we came up with an idea. We would like your suggestions, but how do we pick somebody from the suggestions? Well, we're a homeschooling family. So here's our address, Mefford Endeavors, LLC, P.O. Box 3, Morris, Connecticut, 06763. We want a postcard from you. We have a map. Oh, I don't know where I did with the map. We have a United States map, and we want to see where all our viewers are. And when we get to 10,000 subscribers, we're going to pick some lucky winners. We make our own clothespins here that are absolutely phenomenal. We make our own harvest baskets, which are the best on the market. You'll agree when you finally have one. We have the dehydrated garlic. We make maple syrup. We have all these products that we want to give away to some lucky winners, but we're going to make you send us a postcard because we want to do geography too. We like to incorporate education in everything we do. So take down our address, send us a postcard. We're really excited to hear from you, and let's get to 10,000 subscribers. What?
Repeat the address.
Oh, repeat the address? You got it. Mefford Endeavors, LLC, P.O. Box 3, that's the number 3, Morris, Connecticut, 06763.